Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a video live. I'm having a special guest. She'll be introducing herself. Welcome, Dr. Can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me to be part of this podcast. My name is Dr. Nomusa Dube. I'm currently working as a program manager, overseeing strategic projects and ICT projects at the moment. I have an MBA, I have a PhD in economics and management sciences. I also have a postgraduate diploma in business management, majoring in project management, coupled by a number of certifications related to project management.
All right, I can see you have PhD and masters and a lot of other qualifications that I can't even mention because it's like you are studying, girl. I don't even know how you get the energy. I think you need to put the spirit on you to go back to studying. So what led you to study further and going into a doctorate level, like, is, the motivation, like,
For me, I'm actually someone that likes developing myself. I like growing in all areas of my life. So it's not really about the certificates, but it's also about being more knowledgeable and being able to position myself to greater heights. And I think it's always been my dream that I want to change the color of my gown. I want to develop myself further. I want to make a difference. So for me, a PhD taught me a lot of things. It built my character in terms of resilience and also being able to solve critical problems, because it's a very long journey and it's a very challenging journey as well. And I think also it opened a lot of doors for me. Also with the MBA, what pushed me to doing it was for me to understand organization at a strategic level, and I would say that as well, it really builds my character at a personal level and also in terms of the career, because you learn to research more about things, research more about current trends. You don't just take things at face value as they are presented to you. You're able to challenge them, you're able to challenge them on. And it helps you grow and view life at a different perspective as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And then I want to ask you something. What keeps you going? Like, some over difficult time, over nice time. What keeps you going? Like support readings. Like, what keeps you going? Like, just make sure.
Firstly, what I'd like to mention is that it's not easy balancing work, studying and family. It's not easy, considering the fact that I'm in a project management space and it's also a very challenging environment. You work extra hours, you even work on weekends. So to balance with the studying, it's not really easy. And also considering the fact that I was studying part-time, so I had to be disciplined to be able to achieve this. There were a lot of people that actually gave up along the way because, you have to attend all these colloquiums. Sometimes they'll tell you, no, you need to go back and revise your work, or it's not good enough. You have to defend your topic and so forth. There are a lot of challenges, but what really kept me going, it was my faith. And I'm that person. If I start something, I always want to finish it. I never give up. I'm a go-getter. Once I've set my eyes on something, I definitely go for it. So I think my faith, and also being a prayerful person, and my family. I have a very supportive family. My mom is a prayer warrior. My sister is very supportive. Even my brothers. So I have a strong foundation. Yeah, it's something that I've been wanting to achieve, and I'm happy that I actually achieved it. And also there are people that look up to me, not only my family. So giving up for me, it's never an option in anything that I do. Yeah, I just keep going.
So what I've seen in today's episode, that sometimes you put your trust in God and make sure that you have a very supportive structure. Your family and being a prayerful person is very important, because our faith needs to carry us. Like, I just feel like living by yourself is not easy. So, and I thank you so much, Doctor, for always outlining that actually to have our family members supporting us, and shout out to Mama there that's being a prayer warrior, because as when you grow up as a child, you need to have a mother who prayed for you, because if you don't have a mother who prayed for you, life sometimes can pull you down. But if someone is praying for you, when you get tired, your mother take over to pray for you. Thank you so much for that. And then I want to understand, because we are in the podcast called Living Life, what does it mean to you living your life?
Okay, for me, in leading my life, it means I take full responsibility of my life. I'm in charge of my life. And also being a woman who leads a team in a number of people as well, in a very big organization. You can't lead people if you can't lead yourself, So leading your life, do not be a follower, of people's expectations, of people in social media and things. You just follow things, but you don't really have a purpose. So for me, it's staying grounded and understanding this is what my purpose is, and setting goals for yourself, and understanding that for you to actually achieve those goals, how exactly do you go about to achieving that? So it doesn't matter, maybe I've also faced a lot of challenges in my life. I've had my ups and downs, but at the end of the day, you can't be blaming people that because this particular person has prevented me from doing this, or they did me wrong, and then now it means your life cannot, move forward. You need to move from that and still be able to press on. So that is taking charge, It shouldn't be about the other person, that no one is encouraging me, nobody believes in me. It's about you. What do you want to do with your life? And how do you get there? How do you actually achieve that? And taking responsibility for your own life without really looking at who's supporting you, who's not there for you, and so forth.
That's true, and there's something that I always tell people, that actually before leading other people, you need to first master yourself. Because in whatever we do these days, people will focus about other people and forgetting about ourselves, that we're leading other people and we stop leading ourselves. That's why our life pause and we lead other people. So I think you did the right thing. They say, no, actually you need to first lead yourself before leading other people. And then today, I want to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest mistake young professionals are making these days?
The biggest mistake that young professionals are actually making these days is the sense of entitlement, just because you have a qualification and you're coming from a varsity. Maybe you're a top achiever. Now you get in a workspace, you are there, you come in with that attitude. You don't go in with an open mind to learn, more about the organization, and also understanding the workspace. It's like, because I was a brilliant student, it's like you know it all, or maybe you go into a workspace, you find someone that is less educated than you, and then you end up feeling that you have the upper hand in a sense. It's very important to go in a workspace with an open mind, and also with the willingness to grow. And the other thing is, I think the other mistake is waiting for people to do certain things for you. You must be the go-to person. Make sure that you stay relevant and you add value in whatever you do. So if you get into a workspace, maybe you've just started working, there is onboarding in most organizations, but sometimes it's not as effective as you want it to be. You can get into an organization, which is something that I've experienced in the past when I've just started working, and you find that the person that's supposed to onboard you or train you in that job, they're not doing it. Sometimes maybe because they're too busy to do it. Secondly, it could be that maybe they're feeling threatened, that you might end up taking their job or being better than them. So it's very important to position yourself accordingly. You have to read, you have to research, you have to understand the culture of the company, the people that you're working with, and also be self-aware, be able to identify your own weaknesses when you get there. And I think the other thing, mainly the younger generation, the attitude as well. Bad attitude. A bad attitude, they say it's like a flat tire, which I think it's true. Like, nobody wants to work with someone who has a bad attitude. Sometimes you can find someone who is less qualified, less skilled, but because of the right attitude, you'd feel, I can take this person in and I can train them, and then they can be at a level which I want them to be in. But if your attitude is very bad, it goes back to not wanting to learn, or the willingness to be open-minded and be willing to learn. It's very important to give yourself time to learn the organization, understand the culture, understand the people that you're working with. And also, it doesn't mean because you are an engineer or you are an IT specialist, if someone is asking you to make copies and then you say, I'm not here to make copies, I'm not an admin person, or I'm not a receptionist, you know, because maybe that person is just testing you.
That's true.
They actually want at some point to empower you to a greater level. So I think that's another mistake that young people make. But I think the biggest thing that I've actually observed is the attitude.
Yeah, I think to outline on that, I've seen in a lot of places, like different lot of places, most especially to the young people when they do internship, they go with that mentality of, I'm not a PA. Yeah, you understand? Like if the manager asks you to do like a just small task, just say no, this is not outside of my job description. And sometimes just to check your attitude and your behavior on that. So you are putting it into the right direction that you know, as us as young people, we need to make sure that we develop our right attitude, because we can have qualification, but if our attitudes are wrong, we're gonna fail in life, or nobody will want to work with us because nobody want to work with someone who's